2, 1, and we're live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. This is Angela, and I have got questions for you. What opens with Shauna, Deja's mother, not really connecting with her? And what closes with Shauna, Deja's mother, not really connecting with her? Disconnecting from her? If you guess This Is Us, the episode before the season finale, you're correct. Hi! Thank you so much for clicking on the video and sticking around to see how we get from opening to close. Hi! I'm Angela. The channel is Be Fabulous You. Like, share, comment, subscribe. We're working on 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for the like. All of those things help the channel to grow and develop and spread the light of the Fabulites out to the world. Okay, so let's proceed. So, wow. I mean, it's a lot going on with the episode. So and I took notes as it was going on. So if I missed something, you got to help me out. And, you know, we just going to do the best we can. And it's, you know how this show is. It's a lot of notes. So let's proceed. Let's get on with the getting on to get on to get on to get on. Okay. So we have a montage of births. We see Randall being born and the triplets being born. I'm watching your notes on the news feed. I don't know how I missed. I've been at my desk working the whole time and didn't get a notification. I'll have to check back. Black love. I don't know. You know how YouTube's people say they get bumped off of subscriptions, like all kinds of stuff happens on these things. Who knows? And then I feel like I've accidentally liked or not liked things just scrolling. So I don't know. So maybe you know, who knows? But yay. Okay. Okay. So we have a montage of births. We see Randall being born and the triplets being born and Deja being born. And then we see the grandma Gigi, and she's saying to baby Deja, "Welcome to the world, Deja." And she's, you know, and she says to Mama Shauna, "Hold your baby." And Shauna is like, "My back hurts. I'm tired." And the grandma Gigi is like, "You got to get to know the child. She's in my stomach for 9 months. I know that child." And Gigi is like, "You are not tired. I know you 16, but you like your mama. You know, your mother was worried about some boy and you worried about whoever the boy is that she was worried about. Hold your baby and you better bond with this baby. And then you've got to get to know her." And then Shauna takes the baby, who's Deja. And then we see a montage of parents holding babies. Parents holding babies. It's another beautiful montage. And then we see Deja's mom, Shauna, and she kind of smiles at her grandmother while holding Deja, like, oh, she's starting to fall in love with Deja. When we see Deja, she's around 5 or 6 years old. And she's like, "Gigi!" She's in the bed. Her grandmother is coming in. And Gigi is like, "Deja, what are you doing up? It's almost midnight. Where's your mother?" And then, you know, they laugh and play and, you know, "What are we going to read tonight?" says the grandmother. And then baby girl is like, "Good night, Moon." And grandma's like, "Oh, good choice. That's my favorite book." And that's one of my favorite books, too. Then we see grandma reading Good Night, Moon to the baby girl. And then it kind of fades into... Randall reading Randall reading to his girls, and then it fades into Mama Becca reading, and Daddy Jack reading to his, to Mama Rebecca reading to the triplets, and then we see Daddy Jack reading to his brother, all the same book. And then Gigi kisses Deja. She's fallen asleep, and we're back to Gigi and Deja. And then we see Gigi and she's smoking. And then Deja's mom, Shauna, comes into the apartment. And Gigi is like, "Why was that girl left here all alone?" And Shauna is like, "She was not. I was only 2 blocks away." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, 2 blocks away is kind of far away, don't you?" Okay. "I was only 2 blocks away. She wasn't alone. I fed her. I put her to bed. You know, I'm 19 years old. I'm grown. You know, you think I want to be here living off of you?" You know, she grown. She 19. You know, she out here doing the do. She doing the most with these guys, and the least with the baby girl Deja. And then they argue, and then Shauna ends up apologizing, and Gigi is like, "You know, I can't carry this for you, not forever, you know. And then we see a shot of Deja and Shauna and Gigi, and they're like walking in the hall, and Gigi is in the back, and she's holding like a bag of groceries, and she slows down, and Deja turns around, and she's like, Gigi? And Gigi is like, I'm okay, baby. But I was like, no, she not. And then she falls out. And then we see like another montage. We see Randall and Becca sad, and, you know, probably some other people sad. And then we see Shauna with Deja. And she's like, you know, you can't sleep either. You know, what are we going to do now? And then Deja picks up Goodnight Moon, and she starts reading. Goodnight Moon. Good night. I don't even know that story. That should be the story that I learned, because I know Green Eggs and Ham by heart, basically. And I've had to let go of Dr. Seuss. I am Sam. Sam I am. That Sam I am. That Sam I am. I do not like that Sam I am. Do you like Green Eggs and Ham? I do not like them, Sam I am. I do not like Green Eggs and Ham. That's was one of my favorites. So maybe Goodnight Moon will be my new book that I learned. Okay, so then we see a 13 or 14-year-old Deja in the kitchen. We see Annie and Tessa in the kitchen with Granddad William. Then we see 10-year-old triplets baking with Becca. So it's another montage of, you know, family time. That's kind of like a theme throughout this. Then we see Deja, and she's looking kind of somber. She's grilling some cheese. Her mom is like, where's my vest? You know, and then baby girl is like, oh, it's in the bathroom. And Deja is like, you know, they cut the water off, but you got to go to work. You got to hurry up and go to work. But happy birthday, Mama. And then Shauna's like, well, I get paid Friday. And Shauna's like, I'm taking you to school. And Deja's like, but you're going to be late. And Shauna's like, it's my birthday, and I can be late. And where's the electric bill? And Deja's like, well, I already mailed it. So she's like showing that she's like a responsible kid. She knew her mama was going to get paid on Friday, so she mailed it so that, you know, the timing would work, so that, you know, she on top of it. She's a responsible child. You know, Deja's like, I mailed it. So when exactly are you going to be home tonight? Because I'm making you a birthday dinner. And then we see Deja in the kitchen. She's on the floor. She's opening a can, and she cuts her hand open, like gash, like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And I thought she was going to try to deal with it at home, but she did not. She calls her mother, Shauna, and she's like, Mom, where are you? She's freaking out. I'm hurt. I hurt myself. And then we see Deja in the emergency room, and she arrives, and she's like, please, you know, help me. I cut my hand. And, you know, they take care of her. We see her with the doctor, and then we see a shot of baby boy Kevin. I missed that. I didn't know what that was. And then we see Linda. That's the social worker who introduced, who brought Deja to Randall and Beth. Is their name Pierce? To Randall and Beth. And she's like, hi, Deja, I'm Linda from Child Services. So it's like, dun, 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 you know, oh my gosh, now she's about to go into the system. But I didn't know, was she already in the system? But she about to go into the system. And then, you know, Linda's like, you said your mom was at work, but she's not answering the phone. She's not there. And Linda's like, when Shauna shows up, Linda's like, hi, can I talk to you? And Shauna's like, who are you? Because when she shows up, she's like, oh my God, Deja, you know, we went out for drinks after work, and my phone died, and I didn't know. And, you know, Linda's like, hi, can I talk to you? And she's like, who are you? I just want to see my daughter. And, you know, and then it's like, just kind of like, whoa. And so Linda is calling around. We see baby girl Deja on the couch, and Linda is calling around for placement for Deja. And she's like, it could be one night, maybe more. And it's kind of like, I don't know. That was kind of discouraging. Then we see Deja, and she's with the girl Raven, and, you know, they're dancing, and, you know, Deja's like, I can't dance. And Raven is like, yes, you can. You might not be able to dance like me, but girl, you're not going to be at this dance embarrassing me. And, you know, they having a good time. Now you try it. You do this. And then, you know, they having, you know, a good time. And then a white man comes into the room, and he's like, what are you making all this noise for? Go to school. And Raven is like, the buses are not even here yet. And then the man is like, you better get out before I throw you out the window. And then Raven opens the window, and she's like, you know, she's very jazzy, the little girl Raven. And she's familiar. We know her from, yeah, okay. And then the man is like, you know, get out, you know, and then, you know, we see Raven and Deja on the street, and Deja's like, why do you do that? Why do you antagonize him? She like, he gonna hit me when he get drunk anyway, so I might as well have some fun. And then Raven is like, so what are you gonna be wearing to the what are you gonna be wearing to the dance? And Deja's like, well, I do have this purple dress, but I don't have any makeup. And then Raven is like looking at the store like, well, we could get some. And Deja is like looking at Raven like, I know what this girl is about to say. And she's like, how? We don't have no money. And Raven is like, girl, you are soft. And Deja's like, I am not soft. And Raven is like, I like you. You a nice girl and everything. You my girl, but girl, you soft. And Raven, they go into the store and they're like, hi, Mr. Older Black owner of the store. That's what Raven is saying. And Deja is like, and Raven is like, girl, stop looking so weird. Stop looking at them. And they steal the makeup or whatever. And then we see Raven doing the makeup. And then the foster dad is like, Raven, Deja, come down here. And then the guy from the store is there from where they sold the makeup. And then we see the next shot is Raven getting smacked like boom by the foster dad. And then we see a montage of folks getting hit. We see, probably Jack getting hit by his daddy. I don't know who was but then we flash back to Deja and Raven, and they're in the bedroom that night. And Deja's like, he never hit you that bad. And Raven is silent. She doesn't really say anything. And then we see Linda, and she's like, so I hear you're going to a dance. And Deja's like, when am I going home? And Linda's like, well, your mom has been in and out of treatment, and, she's going to get better. And Deja's like, she only started using because she misses me. And Linda's like, is everything okay here? And then Deja's like silent at first, and then she's like, he hits us. And then we see Raven and Deja being removed by Linda from the foster care home. And then the next scene, we see Deja and Deja's like, Raven, you mad at me? Raven, Raven, I know you mad at me, girl. I had to say something. And Raven is like, do you know how many beds I've slept in? And I was like, I wonder how many beds I've slept in. I didn't count, but I was like, I'm going to count it up. That's kind of an interesting, question, not a body count, but a bed count. Because, in college, every semester you change it. But anyway, at least he only hit. We had each other, and now we're going to be separated. Bed after bed after bed. It's so many beds that I can't count. That's what Raven is saying to Deja. That's why she's mad, frustrated, sad. It's like the little girl got a rough life, and she had found some place where she kind of felt like it was good enough. She had her friend, And then we see Linda and Deja outside of the door. And then we see Rebecca outside of Kate's door after Kate's miscarriage. And then we see Shauna opening the door and hugging Deja. Then we see Beth opening the door and Rebecca hugging Beth. Not Beth, her baby girl, Kate. So we see Kate opening the door, Kate who had the miscarriage. And then, so it's like a little more montage. It's more montage. We get the montage thing going on. The construction of this show today, the writing, it was excellent. Okay, so then we see Shauna and Deja's like, I'm going to make dinner. And Shauna's like, okay, well, is it okay if I have a friend from rehab join us? And Shauna is kind of like, okay. And then we're at dinner, and, Shauna and the guy, Alonzo, are laughing, and they're having a good time. And Deja is not looking impressed. And then at some point, she's like, do you have a job? And the guy's like, yeah, I have a job. And she's like, well, what do you do? And he's like, well, I'm an independent, whatever he says he does. And, Deja's like, ugh. Like she's just not into him. And Alonzo is like, look, I know you don't like me. I know you're not into me. You're probably about the same age that I was when my father brought my stepdad around. But I really, really like your mom. Like, he's being really sweet to her, and we have hope. I don't know why we have hope, because, we know where it's going. But I had hope. I was like, oh, Alonzo. And, he's funny. And he's like, I like your mom, like totally. Or he does some funny voices or whatever. And then Deja laughs. We all relax. And then it kind of like progresses. And we see Alonzo drinking. We see Shauna upset. We see Kev and Jack's dad drinking. We have like another montage of drinking men. And then we hear Shauna arguing with Lonzo, and she's like, we can't have a gun in the house because we got this child and blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's how the gun went from being in the house to the car. Duh. So they're arguing about that, and then we see Deja doing homework. It's like it's almost like she's just doing homework like it's business as usual. She's used to hearing them argue. Then we see Deja brushing her hair, and it's like she sees a chunk of her hair has come out, and she finds the hole in her head, her scalp, where the hair used to be. And then we see her bald spot, or a bald spot. Then we see Shauna leaving for work, and Alonzo is there with like 2 or 3 guys. And Shauna's like, well, I'm going to, not Shauna, but Deja's like, I'm going to be, coming home late tonight. And her mother was like, why, what's up? And she's like, oh, nothing. I just have this thing. She doesn't really say. And then Shauna leaves, and Deja's like washing a dish or dishes or something. Alonzo gets up, and it's like he's trying to like be friendly, like, so you got the math test, let me help, or whatever. And Deja is just not here for it, so she just leaves. She don't really say anything to him. I was nervous that she was gonna get molested, but she just don't like him, because of how he behaves or whatever. Then we see a dance troupe type situation, which turns out to be drill team, and the guy's like, we got this dance competition coming back, it's in a week, it's important, and we about to show them out, we got to do whoop the whoop whoop, blah blah blah. They all hype and excited for the dance situation thing coming up. And then the cops come in, and the dance teacher is like, well, can I help you, officer? And he goes over to the cops, and then Deja is looking nervous, like she's like, what's going on? So it's like, is she used to, like, because if the cops came in the room, I might be curious, but I wouldn't think it had anything to do with me. But it seemed like she thought it had something to do with her. And, then the next thing is Deja. We see Deja with Linda, and she's like, look, you took me out of drill team, what's going on? And then Linda's like, well, they found a car, in your mom's car. And then Deja's like, it's not hers. And, where am I going? Where am I going? And then we see Deja arriving at Randall's house. And then, there's kind of like, that, like a look, like a collection of images from her arriving, which we've already seen most or all of them. And then we hear Raven, or see Raven, and she's like, look, you're a good person. You listen to me. The next time you find a bed, now I didn't cry during the show, but I'm crying at this now. The next time you find a bed that feels even a little safe, don't you blow it. And then we see more of Deja and Randall and Beth and, the girls. And then we see Deja leaving Randall and Beth's place, so, the progression. Welcome in. And then we see Deja, and, she's saying bye, Randall. And then Randall is saying bye, Deja. And then we see in a car, Shauna and Deja. And Deja's like, so is Lonzo? And Shauna's like, he's gone. It's just us. I'm going to get it right this time. And then Deja, we see Deja, she's coming in and she's giving her mom a box. And she's like, look what I made at school. It's a bank. And we can use it to save money. Go ahead and say it. You always say it. Hey, Rowdy Chica. You always say it. What would you do without me? And then we see like a bill paying montage, and then we see Deja looking sad. Then Deja telling Beth and Randall about the no heat. So it's like, some of this stuff we've seen, but it's filling in some of the gaps of stuff that we haven't seen. So and then we see Deja coming in and checking the bank, and it's empty, their little saving spot. And then we hear Deja in the room, and she hears the landlord talking about another bad check. You're 3 months behind. And Shauna is like, I'm good for it. And the landlord is like, you're good for nothing. You need to get out by tomorrow or whatever. And Deja is like, we getting evicted. And her mother is like, no, we're, it's good. I got it. And then Deja checks the box, where they say the money, and she's like, where's the money? And the mother is like, look, I'm grown. Don't be asking me no questions. We got bills to pay. But we already know that the child has been involved with the bill paying all along, so she know what the bills are. So she thought it was supposed to be money in there. We like, where the money at, Shauna? That story ain't gonna fly with us. And then sure enough, Shauna's like, I got bills to pay. Plus, I had to pay for Lonzo's bail since he's locked up because of me. Now, I don't know why. I guess she feels that he's locked up because of her, because she told him not to have the gun in the house because the child was in the house. And so he put the gun in the car, and then she got arrested for it. And then I don't know. But no, you're not locked up because of him. It's the system, and it's because of him, But so anyway, that kind of made me feel bad. Like, dang, she done took the money, And then we see, then they're arguing and arguing, and then Deja just leaves. And then we see Deja getting Randall's voicemail, and we see Deja picking up a bag at, oh, she's like at a pawn shop, and she's like dumping the stuff, you know, at the counter of the pawn shop, and she's like, you know, what can I get for this? And the person is like, we are not Goodwill. I don't take this kind of mess. And then Deja has something, I think it's a piece of jewelry from her grandmother, because we get a flash of Kevin getting his necklace from his dad. So that might be something of value that she has that, you know, she didn't want to give away or, you know, sell or whatever, but she feeling desperate. Then we see Randall getting the call from or seeing that he had missed the call in Vegas from Deja. And, you know, he calls and he's like, hey, you know, how, you okay? Y'all pay the bill? You know, is it all good? And, you know, and she's like, yeah, it's all good. And he's like, okay, well, I'm in Vegas. You know, we already saw this, but, you know, you call me if you need anything. And Deja's like silent, and he's like, what's up? And she's like, oh, you know, it's hard to talk when my mom's around. And then, you know, so we know, you know, and then we see Deja packing up the apartment. And then we see Deja and Shauna leaving, and the landlord is outside, or the landlord is outside and the cop is outside, and look like she get a key to the landlord, and then the cop walks them out and they get into the car. And I'm thinking they had been, when Randall and Beth found them, I thought they had been living in the car for a long time, but I think it's not been that long. And then we see, we get the shot of Randall and Beth in the car coming from the airport, and, you know, walking up in Deja and Shauna, on Deja and Shauna in the car. So then we pick up with Deja and Shauna at the house, and Tess and Annie run down and they see Deja, and they're like, ah, you're back! Yay! And Randall was like, girls, you remember Deja's mom, Shauna? And then Shauna is like, you know, this is just temporary. And Beth is like, oh, yeah, we'll figure it out. You know, the everything, the towels in the bathroom and are upstairs and blah, 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 blah. And then, you know, we see like this like family movie night or whatever, or, you know, people are watching a movie. And Shauna is kind of watching Deja with how she is with Randall and Beth and the girls. And then, you know, I see Shauna I'm thinking, I want her to integrate, because I told y'all already, I want the family to adopt Shauna and the baby, because I feel like, you know, we gotta, you know, sometimes even if people are grown, they need support, you know. And I just feel like but anyway, I just so I'm like, oh, is Shauna integrating into the family? But, you know, Beth is like, you know, then we see, you know, it's time for bed, and Beth is like brought down some sheets and blankets and you know, and she's like, you know, I'm sorry that the couch is, you know, it's going to be the couch tonight because things downstairs or whatever. And Shauna's like, oh, it's cool. And Deja's like, well, can I sleep in my old room? And Beth is like, if it's okay. She's kind of happy. And she looks at Shauna, and Shauna's like, okay. And then Deja just goes upstairs, and Beth is like, good night. And Deja's like, good night. It's kind of weird. Like, I guess she mad at her mama, or, you know, she's having a hard time reconciling, or she feel awkward. I don't know. And then we see Beth, and I guess she's seeing something that Shauna has. And she's like, oh, you ran track. And Shauna's like, yeah, did you run track? And Beth is like, nah, girl, I was a cheerleader, but I didn't really like it. But there was this guy who looked like D'Angelo. And then baby girl, Shauna is like, oh, say no more. And then, you know, Shauna's like, you know, I never saw Deja like that, you know. And Beth is like what? And Shauna's like a child, you know. And then Shauna's like, you know, she's special. Deja is special. And I know every parent thinks their child is special, but I think she's really, really special. And then Beth is like, yeah, she is really special. And then Shauna's like, you know, I failed her. You know, I've been saying to her since she was 5, you know, what would I do without you? You know, and what does that do to a kid, you know? And then we see Randall, he's upstairs with Deja, or Deja's in her room. She's looking at the plants, because remember when she left, she was doing like a science experiment on the growth of plants. You know, like one listens to Beyonce and, you know, one doesn't, and which one does better or whatever. So she's looking at her plants, and Randall knocks on the door. He comes in, and Deja's like, oh, you kept them alive. And Randall is like, oh, yeah. She's like, well, this one is droopy. And they're like still talking and, you know, joking or whatever. And she like, you still corny. And then he's like, you know, you okay? I know it was kind of weird tonight, You know, what are you thinking about? And then baby girl Deja's like, you know, I'm thinking about how many beds I've slept in my life. You know, and the number is high and it's scary. And, you know, you said that I remind you of you, but I don't really see it. But, you know, it does seem weird because we seem so different to me. Like, I don't see that. But then I think about the world, and everybody in the world goes to sleep basically every night, whether they're rich or they're poor or they're young or they're old, or whether they're sleeping on a bed or a floor. Everybody sleeps. You know, and everyone has things that hurt them and things that make them feel better. And, you know, I'm just really tired. And then Rando is holding Deja. And he's like, I know, sweetheart. And then we see Rando coming downstairs. And he sees Shauna heading toward the door with her bag. And Beth is behind her. And Beth is kind of like... And then, you know, Shauna is like, you know, I got to go. And I can't take her with me. So that's it. I feel for Shauna, you know, and I mean, you know, I understand that she wants to break the cycle. And she feels that if she's there, it's going to interfere with her daughter's, you know, progress. But, you know, I feel like, you know, there is nothing like a mother. There's nothing like your mother. And like, just to abandon your daughter, even though you feel like you're doing the right thing for her, I feel like you might, whatever issues your parents have, they're still your parents. And I feel like an important part of development is reconciling your relationship with your parents. If your parents have made their transition, or, you know, you're not able to have a relationship with your parents, I feel like that's one thing. But I just feel like to not have a relationship with your mother, to volunteer, like, I just feel like it's so important, you know, for children to have, like, I have a problematic relationship with my biological father, but it's important. Like, I just feel like I just do not want to see that woman walk out of her child's life, you know. And I'm all here for Randall and Beth, and I feel like, but they're not that girl's mother and daddy. They're not her mama and daddy. You know what I mean? Like, it's just heartbreaking to me. You know, and I just really want us to all just be together, you know. So that's it. That's that episode of This Is Us. Next week is the season finale. Did I miss anything important? I know trying to take notes and capture everything I can't watch. So I probably will get to like rewatch it tonight, I guess, or whenever, because I think I have less things that I have to catch up with. But that's what I got. I'm Angela. The channel is Be Fabulous You Still. Like, share, comment, subscribe. All of that helps to build the channel, and I really, really appreciate it, and appreciate you being here. I appreciate you being you, and I want to encourage you and support you in continuing to do that. So let us all sing together. Be you. Be fabulous. Sing and dance. Be fabulous you. Be you. Be fabulous. Remember on Saturday Night Live, those guys used to do that thing? Be fabulous you. Hey, be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Be you. Be fabulous. Peace.